Hey friends, it's Rosie, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a pot roast. If you want the exact measurements, visit my blog iHeartRecipes.com and you can print out your free copy of the recipe. And this is like perfect for the holidays. It's really inexpensive, and of course you can make it anytime throughout the year as well. So we're starting off with the meat. Here I have my bottom round roast here. It was really inexpensive. I have 4 pounds here and I got it for under $11. So I placed everything on my cookie sheet so I wouldn't make a mess. On one side I have my meat, the other side I have some all-purpose flour. In this bowl I have a combination of seasonings and herbs. I have rosemary, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, lots of stuff. And again, that will be included on my blog. You can print out the recipe card. So now we're going to coat the roast with our seasoned flour because we mixed the flour up with the herbs and everything. And once the roast is nicely coated, we're going to head over to our stovetop. So I'll be using my Dutch oven, but if you don't have a Dutch oven, you can use a pan. So we place some vegetable oil into our Dutch oven there. I turned the heat up to medium, and now I'm going to brown each side and surface of my roast. Now once it is nice and browned, I'm going to remove it from there, and now I'm going to cook some onions up until they're nice and translucent. These are yellow onions, but you can use white or any other color that you want. And the onions are also going to work as a bed for our roast while it cooks, or while it roasts, yeah. So again, if you don't have a Dutch oven, don't worry about that. So since I have a Dutch oven, I will be placing this in the oven. I'm going to place my roast on top of the onions. Now, if you don't have a Dutch oven, what you need to do now is just place everything into a roaster. And now I'm pouring in chicken broth. Now, if you want, you can add beef broth. I'm not a big fan of beef broth. That's why I'm using chicken broth. But again, certainly use beef broth if you want. I placed the lid on top of my Dutch oven, and now I'm going to place this into my oven. It's set on 300 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to let this roast for 2.5 hours. And again, my roast is 4 pounds. So this is what it looks like 2.5 hours later. It is not done. We're just like midway through this whole thing. I basted, I just poured the juices all over the meat, and now I'm going to place this back in the oven for another hour. So after that hour, it still looks the same. It's a little more tender, but we are certainly going to cook this some more. I'm going to scoop out some of that broth, and I'm going to place it into a big bowl or a cup. And this is what it looks like. So what we want to do now is add a couple tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and that's going to work as our thickening agent. Just mix everything until it's nice and incorporated. And here on my chopping board, I have some russet potatoes that I cleaned very well. I have some onions and some carrots as well. I left the skin on my potatoes, but you can peel them if you want, and you can use red potatoes or gold potatoes if you choose as well. So we're just going to give everything a nice stir. I poured in the combination of the broth and the flour. Now I'm going to start adding in everything else. So let's add in the onions and the carrots and the potatoes. It does not matter which order you add those in. And if needed, if you need to add more broth, you certainly can, but I think I have enough, so I didn't add any more. And once everything is nicely in there, I'm going to place the lid back on my Dutch oven, and we're placing this back in the oven for another hour, and it is still on 300 and it is covered. So after all that cooking, this is our roast here. You can certainly leave it in the pan and serve it out of there, but since we are during the holiday season, I'm just going to show you how I will set mine up. So I pulled out my little platter here, and I'm going to place the meat in the middle, and I'm going to surround it with the onions, potatoes, and the carrots. You could save the gravy and put it to the side into like a gravy bowl. That's what I would do. But to make it look really nice and not so dry, I'm going to add a couple spoonfuls of the gravy over the meat, and then I'm going to sprinkle some parsley all over. And that is it. So if you have a little mess on the sides, just clean that up with a paper towel. This is really tender. I could tell you that all day, but I will just show you. You'll know how tender it is if you can pull it apart with forks and not have to, cut in. You're good to go. But that's it. Thank you for watching. The recipe is on iHeartRecipes.com, and I will see you soon.